Several encounters where we've taken enforcement action.
We've actually got to the point where the council gave me approval to put out an RFP for a design build. So
you hear the local people that make the news every day, 7 days a week on the big 1520 AM, 92.3 FM, and 106.5 FM WHOW, and on the station playing America's best music, 95.9 FM WEZC.
Your friend in Central Illinois. WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Janice Peterson with the Clinton Chamber of Commerce joins us in studio today. Good morning, Janice.
Good morning, Seth.
How's your summer going?
Pretty good. Kind of hot.
It's been hot. It's been busy.
Busy.
Went from May days to the golf outing, and now on to the haunted house season.
I know.
So
that seems so early because it's just July, but trust me, it's not.
No rest for the weary, right?
Right.
Indeed. Now, I want to ask, how did the golf outing go? I had to scurry out real fast after our broadcast. Things went well, though.
Yeah, I think they did. I think everybody had a good time. I haven't heard any complaints. So we had actually 9.5 teams. One team had to back out at the last minute, but everybody seemed to have a good time.
Good, very good. So that's an annual event for the chamber. Now, you moved it to Friday. What was kind of the after golf like?
It was really the same as what it was when we had it on a Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
We just had some requests to move it to Friday, so people maybe could have like an afternoon or most of a day off. It'd be Friday, they'd have the weekend, and we kind of balked at it a little bit, but when I went to the country club to schedule, their Tuesday night league started the same week of our golf outing, and we would have had to been off the course by 4 o'clock.
Okay.
And that can't happen.
Right,
So we moved it to Friday, and it seems good.
All right, very good. Well, so things went well, it sounds like. Do you mind if I ask, what is a good year for the golf outing in terms of funds raised?
I would say probably around 15 teams. So, we were fine, but just 15 teams is really going to get us where we need to go. And we had some new sponsors this year, which was nice. Baum Chevrolet was a whole sponsor. Ace Hardware was a general sponsor. ServPro was a general sponsor.
Yeah.
Reagan Deering, who's running for Senate, was a sponsor, and I think I'm missing somebody. I could be, and I apologize if I am.
The worst part was I ran into Reagan at the outing, and I had met her before, and I was in such a rush because I got there late because I had to be here, and then I had to jump out to the course, and I was setting up, and I didn't have power access right away, and so I was trying to get that, and I ran into her, and I was like, oh, I know you, and I cannot, in my head I'm saying, I know her, but I can't put a name with the face, and so anyways, and then after the fact, I was like, that's Reagan, so
she didn't introduce herself?
She had met me before, and I think she remembered me,
Probably.
and that was just embarrassing. I probably shouldn't even have shared that, but at any rate, Janice, very good. Well, let's dive into, as you transition out of golf outing season into haunted house season.
Yep.
You mentioned it feels early because it's July, but there's a lot to do.
There is. We have some new rooms this year, so that means a lot of construction, decorating, that kind of thing. We can't get in the house and do any updates until we get the sprinkler system turned on. So we had that done earlier this week. Then we had a water leak, so we got that fixed.
Yeah.
So now, within the next week or so, we will definitely get in there. We'll work a couple nights a week, couple hours a night, and we'll get it all done. We're still looking for volunteers. Doesn't have to have any construction experience. We need people to help clean, help organize, help decorate, all sorts of stuff. And they can call me at the chamber, 217-935-3364, or they can email us, chamber@clintonilchamber.com.
All right, very good. So be a part of that. When it comes to the preparation itself, that sprinkler system, relatively new, right?
Yes, it is. I don't know exactly how many years ago. Probably at least 5.
I think 5.
Yeah.
I think it was right before COVID or right at COVID.
It was right before, I believe.
Okay, yeah, sure.
So yes, that's integral with, and we just have to have that, obviously. So
you had a water leak? Tell us about that if you don't mind.
We turned the water on, and there was a pipe that was leaking and pretty much spewing water in the backyard.
Oh wow! In the backyard. Okay.
Yep. So we called the plumber, and they came out and got it all fixed for us, so
Yeah.
we're good there.
You mentioned
And just little things that happen. It's maybe it froze over the winter. I don't know.
You mentioned volunteers for that. What is your volunteer kind of base like right now? You mentioned you need more, but what's it like currently?
We have probably 10 to 15 volunteers, and most of them are well seasoned, better than me, have been there a lot longer. The same people come back year after year after year, and their knowledge is amazing. We couldn't do it without them.
Yeah, sure. When it comes to just kind of getting the house itself ready for the season, you start with cleaning up. When do you kind of get into getting scares ready and all of that? Like what all has to get done before you get to that point?
Well, actually, they'll start that point. They'll just let's say 2 or 3 volunteers will get one room, and they will make sure that the props are all correct in that room. That we put the props upstairs in the wintertime so nothing happens to them. So then they have to maybe go back downstairs. So they'll put everything that needs to be in that room in there, and then just move on to the next room. So as each room gets done, it's ready to go.
How many rooms do you have?
15,
Wow.
I think.
And it's a 2-level.
Yeah, it is. It is. And I have to be careful because there's some new stuff this year and some returning stuff. So
Yeah. New stuff, is that new props and things of that nature?
there will be some new props, but it's new rooms pretty much.
Gotcha. When you take on a new room, what do you have to do to get it ready?
You have to take out everything that's in the room currently. Because that's obviously a different theme. So it's a different themed room. So we will strip out the room if there's any construction repairs that need to be made, any holes or whatever, we'll fix those up, and then they'll start building the new room, putting different props, different scenes in it, just whatever they need to put in it.
Yeah, so when you talk about like props and those sorts of things, do you have to have like wall hangers and things for not tape necessarily, but is the structure of the room come into play where like you need to have a sturdy access to?
It's possible. It depends what the room is.
Okay.
You know, if it's just basically, a couch and a chair and there isn't going to be a room like that, but just if there's just like a living room set, then there wouldn't probably maybe some pictures on the walls or whatever, but in most of them the house is pretty sturdy.
Is it good? Yeah, nice. How old is the house, by the way?
I don't know. I do not know. I know. I believe I heard that it was a meat market way before.
Oh,
we
really?
had it. So yeah,
interesting.
I don't know much about the history of the actual house.
Yeah, sure. Now we've talked in the past, preparation for this. I mean, you'll be going right up against the opening of the house itself.
Correct.
That week of, so. It takes a lot of time to get it ready.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
And by the end, we'll be there every night.
Do you need able-bodied people?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I venture at some level you do.
Yeah, we do. But we also need somebody that can't lift anything, that just wants to help decorate a room. We're good with that too. I need to go through the costumes this year, so I need some people that can take inventory of our costumes. Just things like that doesn't require heavy lifting, I should say.
Yeah. Do the costumes need upkeep in terms of like maybe some hems and things like that?
Very
Sewing?
possibly. We wash them every year, so you figure they get washed over and over and put on over and over. So it's some of them need to be replaced.
Yeah. Janice Peterson is the executive director of the Clinton Chamber of Commerce, our guest in studio here for this morning as we talk haunted house season. With the season itself there, Janice, anything new, not necessarily from the rooms and the scares perspective, but anything about this season that you're looking forward to, whether it's new things or what people can look forward to?
We have some new things in the works. I can't share them yet because they haven't come to fruition, but there's some things in the works.
Yeah. Well, and remind us as we get closer to haunted house season, we'll probably touch on this more, but just what the general what the dates are, when it opens, how about some of those things?
We are every Friday and Saturday for the month of October. We open at 8 or 7 o'clock in the evening. We are working on some online ticketing. That's not set in stone, but we are working on it. The 12th and 19th at 5 o'clock are our friendly ghost tours for kids.
Right.
So it's we're never open on Halloween. We're just the Friday and Saturdays.
Not doing Halloween this year.
Yeah, we are not.
Okay.
Nope. If it fell on a Friday or a Saturday, then we would. But just those 4 4 weekends.
Yeah, I think the possibility of online ticketing would excite a lot of people just because
We've had a lot of requests for
Yeah.
it. It just there's a lot to put together to get it to work.
right.
And
Yeah.
we're talking. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, sure. What it's not just the haunted house that people come out for either. I mean, there's concessions, there's
Right.
virtual, there's the is it the escape room?
The escape room is there also, and we will have a new theme to the escape room this year. We have concessions. Concessions are ran by Second Chance for Pets, so we totally appreciate all their help. They have people there in the concession booth every night,
Right.
So that really helps a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's just some new things we're working on.
Well, we can't wait to hear about it when they come about. With the hours, what are the hours those Fridays and Saturdays? Did you say that, by the way? I'm sorry.
No, we open the first group will go in the house around 7 to 7:15. Just kind of depends on how everything gets organized with the volunteers inside the house. And we stay until the last group is through. So it might be 11 o'clock, it might be 1 o'clock in the morning. As it gets later in the month, usually it's a little bit later.
Yeah. Closer to Halloween.
Right,
People
right.
want to get scared.
Yeah. We like I said, we open at 7. Ticket booth will open about 6:30, quarter to 7.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah, I
go from
wondered
there.
about that. When do you start ticket sales those nights? So 6:30, 7 o'clock.
Yeah, somewhere around in there. When we look outside and see the lines really long, we go ahead and start.
Get started.
But if we can do the online, that will help too. So.
Yeah, definitely. Very good. Yeah, and it's one of the more popular haunted houses in the area and the state, from what I understand.
Correct. We
Yeah.
are one of the more popular, especially in Central Illinois.
Definitely. Where do folks go to keep up with all things haunted house? And again, to volunteer, how do they get a hold of you?
To volunteer to help on the haunted house, give me a call at the chamber, 217-935-3364, or email us at chamber@clintonilchamber.com. Go to our website, clintonilchamber.com.
Easy enough. Janice Peterson, again, Executive Director of the Clinton Chamber of Commerce, my guest in studio today. We've got more with Janice coming up on the morning show.
WHOW.
On this USDA report day, let's check the opening numbers now at the Chicago Board of Trade on this Friday. Corn, beans, and wheat opening the day lower. September corn down 5.5, 394 3/4. December corn down to nickel, 405 3/4. March corn 419 3/4, down 4.5. August beans starting the day 11, 11.5, down 5.5. September beans down 3.5, 1060 1/4. New crop November down 2 1/4, 1065 1/2. September wheat 562 3/4, down 8.5. December wheat down 8 1/4, 586 3/4. March wheat down 8, 606 3/4. August bean meal 340.80, down 160. And August bean oil 47.36, up 22 cents. Look at the opening numbers on this Friday morning, USDA report day. Jim Taylor on the RFD Radio Network.
Here's owner Dave Jackson at your Clinton Save-A-Lot Fighting Inflation 2024.
I look at every cost increase, every suggested retail price, and many times I'll go with the suggested, it depends, or I'll not go up as much, won't go up at all. I just can't raise things as fast as the market is going. I can't do that, and I look at that and go, how can we sell this for this retail? This is crazy.
Dave fights inflation every day at your Clinton Save-A-Lot.
Hope to see you soon.
John Prater here, your new country financial agent at 320 East Van Buren in Clinton. I'd love to meet you as I get connected to the Clinton community. Find out more by clicking on my icon at dewitdailynews.com.
Fiber internet has come to Clinton with Connexus. Plans start at just $19.99 a month, with their 1 gig plan just $39.99 a month. Click the Connexus icon at dewitdailynews.com.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Again, Janice Peterson, Executive Director of the Clinton Chamber of Commerce, in studio with us. And Janice, it's been a while since we've had some ribbon cuttings in Clinton, but we had a few recently.
We had 2 in June. We welcomed J Squared Aquatics to the square, a new fish store, basically. And we welcomed Gilmore's Sweet Treats and More, and they do freeze-dried candy, and they're working into bakeries, so we did ribbon cuttings for both of them.
Yeah, definitely. That doesn't mean we haven't had new business in the community.
Right. That's just those 2 are just the ones that have joined the chamber and have asked for ribbon cuttings, which it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Well, and give us a reminder. If there is a new business that comes to the community, do they have to be a member of the chamber to do a ribbon cutting? And what's that process like?
It is preferred. It is preferred. We'll work with them. We'll work with them on it.
Very good. So if they're interested, do they contact you?
Just
or
contact me at the chamber.
Okay, very good. So, and of course, that goes to the point as well of becoming a chamber member when you do open up your business and the benefits that it offers. How about that?
Right. We do have a couple more new chamber members besides J Squared and Gilmore's. We have Little Bees Cookies, and we have John Prater Country Financial Insurance.
Sure, very good.
They all joined us.
That's great. Yeah, and just continuing to grow that membership.
That's what we're doing.
Yep, for sure. Well, Janice, I've got about 5 minutes here with you this morning. What's other than the haunted house? Anything else keeping you busy in the office right now?
Not yet, but Christmas parade will be right around the corner from that. So
yeah.
Christmas parade is December 7th. I can say that Santa, we're working on a new house for Santa this year. We might have mentioned it before. I don't remember. Our current house for Santa is not ADA compliant, and we had several families see how they could get a family member that's in a wheelchair or that can't come up the stairs to see Santa. And Santa comes out. He'll come out and visit. But that's not the point. That's not the experience that they want. So we are working on putting Santa's Village up on Mr. Lincoln stage. And the ramps are there, so we will be totally compliant. And hopefully, we all have visions of what we want it to look like, so we're putting it into place.
Well, that's really cool because there's a lot more. You could decorate the square, and I know it opens up, vandalism and things like that, but you could decorate that, and give people a picture opportunity during the week, and just bring people downtown.
And Santa has agreed to be there more than just the weekends, so he's going to be a couple nights, I think, as well.
Very good. That's great. So now we had mentioned potentially moving the parade back to a night parade, or is that's
not going to happen?
Not going to happen this year.
No,
okay.
No. We can't. The bands can't do it. That's pretty much where. And we need the bands. We want the bands.
Right.
So
yeah.
So it's going to be a Saturday.
All right.
2:00.
So sticking to Saturday. Do we have a date yet?
December 7th.
I think we mentioned that at one point.
I'm looking at the calendar. Yep, it is the 7th.
That's a Saturday. All right. So put that on the calendar. Gosh, can't believe we're already talking about Christmas time.
Because the registration sheets will go out in a couple months. So it just runs right into another. So
anything else you're thinking about or prepping for at this point?
No, not really. The haunted house is our main thing.
Yeah, definitely. So haunted house volunteers will be needed for sure. Janice, looking back at the first 6 months of the chamber year, it goes by so quick. We go from chamber dinner to the business expo, then to the golf outing and May Days. May Days, then the golf outing. It all goes by so quick. As you kind of sit back and reflect, as you think about those events, what comes to mind for getting ready for next year on those?
Just some things that we want to maybe change up that we felt were not as successful as they could have been, or just a different idea.
Yeah.
So
I know you had mentioned with the business expo potentially making some changes there. Have you come to any conclusions yet?
It's too early. We haven't re-talked about it yet.
Okay.
We just have the thoughts that we kind of jotted down at the end of the expo this year that we want to do different for next year.
When do you start in on things like that?
By the end of the year, we pretty much have our calendar booked out, so we will have reserved the high school or the junior high during December, pretty much, because excuse me, we like to announce our calendar the first part of the year.
Yeah.
So we start working on stuff November, December to get things locked in for the next year.
Gosh, it's always busy, right?
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. Kind of the point, the chamber keeps the community moving and giving them things to do. Sure.
We try.
Well, Janice, in closing here, let's just revisit Haunted House. You mentioned volunteers. What do you ask of your volunteers? How much time do you need from them? How about those things?
Yeah, we need people to help with construction, paint, cleaning, organization, decorating, things like that. So you don't have to have any specific skills. That's fine. Couple hours a night, couple nights a week. It'll get more frequent closer to the time of opening, but it is a volunteer position. There's nothing, there's nothing paid.
Right. Right.
Just make sure people know that it is volunteer. It's a lot of fun. There's a really good group of people, and they make it fun.
Yeah, definitely. Now, when someone volunteers, do you kind of set a week schedule ahead of time, or is it kind of like a group chat where it's like, hey, we'll be out there these days this week? How do you set the schedule?
Typically, it's the same 2 nights every week. If we use Tuesday, Thursday, it's the same 2 nights. But it could change. If it's super, super hot, we canceled a couple of nights last year because it was just too hot. It's cooler in the basement, but it's still pretty hot.
It probably gets pretty hot in those upper levels.
It does.
Yeah, definitely.
It does. So
yeah.
and we try to keep it consistent, to keep everybody's schedule. Again, since everybody's volunteers, we want them to know, okay, this is the nights we're going to work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, to have that set schedule, I'm sure is
But
very
if something
helpful.
comes up that we've got a team that's working on a specific room and they want to work on a Wednesday and we're not going to be there that Wednesday, as long as we can let them in and out and there's more than one person working on it, we're okay with that.
Very good. Well, Janice, if anyone's interested in volunteering for Haunted House season, how do they get a hold of you?
Give me a call at the chamber, 217-935-3364, or email us at chamber@clintonilchamber.com.
Very good. Now, Chamber's on social media, right?
Correct. We're on Facebook. If you can't find us, we're at Visit Clinton IL.
Very good. Janice, always good to talk with you. Thanks for making time for us.
Thank you.
Janice Peterson, Executive Director of the Clinton Chamber of Commerce, our guest in studio here this morning. The morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Network news on the way.